Barton, level 4, lesson number 3. Okay, so we're really focusing on how to divide words in the beginning of level 4. And that's what we're going to start with today. So in the first few lessons, the words keep getting longer and longer. And that's kind of what we're focusing on in the beginning. Right around 4.4 is very tricky, just so you know. Think through these are coming up, and 4.5 is very tricky as well for students. So we're in 4.3 today though. And so we're working on syllable division. So we're going to take a word like this, and this is the word pretend, and we're going to divide it the most common way, which is push it to the back. The students know if this did not make a real word. So if this did not say pretend right here, this is an open syllable and this is a closed syllable, then they would move this the other way. And we can see that just for your demonstration in a word like copy, okay? So students would divide it the most common way. Again, this works about 70% of the time, and this is review, okay? Push it to the back. We come up with a word like copy, not the word that we wanted, okay? So we've got to move the P to the other side. And now the word says copy because you've closed this off. Today we're working on words that have 2 letters in between the vowels. It's really no different. There's only one little exception that we're going to talk about here, and that is we're just going to push these to their own. I talk about their own rooms sometimes. Put them in their own rooms, and then you're going to split these down the middle, or you're going to put one to one side and one to the other side. Now this makes 2 closed syllables. Combat. Here's a word that has a unit in it. It does not change how we divide it. Here's my vowel here. Here's the U in here. I'm going to put this into its own room, this into its own room, and I'm going to divide this up. Chipmunk. Chipmunk. Again, closed syllable, unit syllable. Okay, here's another one. Vowel here, split, 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 and split. Okay, now this makes a closed syllable, but there's something besides it being a closed syllable that they're going to have to remember, and that is that the C has this watch out vowel after it, which changes the sound of C to the soft sound. Cindy. So 2 things to remember on that word. They also learned what we call the Fancy Nancy rule, which says that C at the end of a multi-syllable word is spelled CY. Okay, so we see that in a word like Nancy or Fancy or Stacy or Tracy, anything like that. So C at the end of a multi-syllable word is spelled CY. Okay, we also talk about in a word like muffin, we do not pronounce both the F's. So we do not say muffin. Muffin. Can I have a muffin for breakfast? We don't say that. So we say muffin. Okay, these kind of slop together in the middle. Nice and easy. Muffin. Okay, so that is the first thing. Let's look at a couple of the kind of exceptions that we have. The first one is going to be chicken. Okay, we've got vowel here, vowel here. They're going to go into their own rooms just like usual. I would always start by pushing this to the back, but this would not make a real word. This word right here would say chai-ken. This would be an open I, chai-ken. It's not what we want. We want this to be the word chicken, chicken. So we want to close this off. One thing that some of the students can handle, not all of them, but some of them can handle, is knowing that anytime you see a CK, it's always going to be a closed syllable. You can just smuck it right over, okay? So CKs always go with the short vowels. We kind of learned that back in level 3, and we're reinforcing it in level 4. CK goes with short vowels. So this word will be chicken. But let's look at this name right here, Nathan. And we've got a vowel and a vowel. Own room, push it to the back. We always start there, even though there's 2 letters, just a digraph, push it to the back. We can't split that digraph up. This creates an open syllable, Nathan, Nathan. Another one. This is a little bit tricky when we're working, with the unit tiles right here. Again, units are the red tiles. 3 letters that come together to make an unusual sound. That A-N-K doesn't say ank. It's not a closed syllable. It says ank. And so it makes an unusual sound. And so we put them on a red tile to remind the students, hey, this is something different. Okay. So you're simply going to have to pull these apart. We cannot separate this this unit. It has to stay together. So blank et. Okay, now this is the last one. One's a little bit confusing. We're going to start like we normally would, and we are going to push our vowels into their own rooms. Now, normally we would split these, right? But this actually doesn't make a real word. This word would say duplex, not the word we want. And that's because we have what we call a rotten letter right here. So rotten letter. So you can see a capitalized R and a capitalized L. And those are the letters that make very common blends for us. And so when you see those, most of the time, not all the time, most of the time, you're going to want to keep this together. I always talk about this being a stinky letter. This is a stinky letter right here. He smells. He's got to have his buddy next to him so he doesn't stink up the whole word. Okay. So do, now it divides right here. This becomes an open U, duplex. Again, here's another one that would do the same thing. Vowel, vowel. Again, what do we have? We've got a rotten, stinking letter. He's got to bring his buddy along so he doesn't stink up the word. Secret, okay? We don't want the word to be secret, which is what it would be if this was over here, secret. We want secret. Okay. So, this is all highlighted in your students' in their personalized workbook. Okay, so this is syllable division rule number 2. And it just details everything that we just did right there. So if your student needs it, it's on or about page 62. Again, this is kind of a living, breathing document that changes as the needs of the student does. So that's where that is going to be housed. Okay. Let's take a look at the extra practice pages. We are simply going to work on ... divide. So I want the students to get, let's make this a little bit bigger so that you can see this more clearly here. Make sure this is nice and big. Okay, it is. So ... divide. Ooh, tricky for me. Judith, okay, ... divide, fancy, ... windy, divide, ... divide, Reno, okay, I will continue, you can just kind of watch along, Justin, flatten, rusty. Here's one of the exception ones. Again, the CK always sticks with the short vowel, rocket. Oop, that's not a very good dot, but you get the hint. This is going to be gusty, husband, contest, aspen, chunky. Now remember, this is a unit right here. It's got to stay together. Chunky, chipmunk, candy, bandit. Okay, now this is one that will go the other way. Her name is not going to be Helen. It's going to be Helen. Taffy, splendid, princess. Velvet, jacket. Again, a CK that's going to go the other way. Brit, Ish. Again, that's going to go the other way. That's like Helen. That is, it's not a British spell, spy. It's a British spell. Okay, so that's extra practice number 1 or number 3. Remember, we always start on 3. And then we'll make some real words. We've got Mustang, we've got Sandy, we've got until, subject, trump, grumpy, and ticket. The last one is going to be create a real word by putting a vowel in the blank. So we've got admit, we've got Henry, we've got dandy, nifty, insect, object, and campus. Okay, let's take a look at your fluency building drills. And again, we really are focusing on dot, dot, divide here. Okay, so let's look at a couple of the exceptions on this page. Oh, sorry, I'm starting on page 2 of 2, just so you know here. This is page 10. Regret, there is a rotten letter on that one. It's got to go to the back. Regret, you don't want regret, that doesn't make sense, right? But most of these are just, here's another one that's kind of an exception one, duplex. But here's one that is a rule breaker. Actually, like some people don't like this word in here because right away we show them there's a rule breaker. But we also talk about how it doesn't work with everything. So they do have to know how to divide, okay? And then listen to the syllables. So we've got problem. It's not a problem. Maybe in Canada it is problem, but in America, usually it's going to be a problem. Same with publish. Publish. It's not a publish. It's publish. Okay. Let's go back to this one right here. All right. Dot, dot, divide, witness. You know, certain questions that you can ask your student are things like, what kind of syllable is the first one? Why, that's a short, closed syllable. What kind of syllable is the second one? Same thing, short and closed. Nelson, short and closed, short and closed. Jacket, here's one that's going to divide, you know, got to make sure that you keep that CK with a short vowel there. Husband, selfish, nothing super fancy. These are all just really, Nathan, that one goes the other way. Chipmunk, unless, transit. If they can't get the vibrating S right there, it says transit. I would just remind them that sometimes the S also says that Z sound, transit. Okay, that's it. Level 4, lesson number 3. And so, again, what's our goal? Our goal is decoding and not guessing. We are taking back the power and we are decoding these words instead of being good guessers, lucky guessers. Okay. Have a great day.